one of the advantages of going last in a session like this is that much of the background information is already presented. So Stanley, thank you very much. It saves a number of slides for me. I don't have to go through the background information and also Dieter. This is an old sailor's quote many of you would have heard of. I mean, there's plenty of water in the world, just very few of it is available for drinking. And Stanley gave all the facts and figures to support it, so I'm not going to go over that again. The only way a solution like this, a solution whether it involves technologies or involves companies like us who are in the space in India for many years, developing and offering solutions for households, can work is if we collaborate. So collaboration is critical in everything that we do, especially in the space. So that's what our company is all about. My overview today is going to give you a little flavor, some of which was already presented in earlier presentations, but just to give you a little flavor for the challenges India specifically faces. Many of my colleagues and audience members who are based in India would be aware of some of them, but this could be interesting for those who are visiting us. And if you're talking about collaboration, collaborating with an Indian leader in the space or any other company in the space, you definitely need to understand the ground reality of what makes a water solution work, sustainable, and effective for the long term. Just a quick background, especially for those who are coming from abroad. We're a company that were formed in 1982 with a joint venture between Tata and Electrolux. We are market leaders in drinking water and cleaning. We are also Asia's largest direct sales consumer products company. And the idea here is one of the things that made that, when I go back and I look at what made a company like us enter the field of water 30 years ago, especially consumer drinking water, when nobody was even thinking about it, was the idea that that is a subject that required quite a bit of education and awareness, and that fit our business model at that time quite well, which is direct sales. So anything that is based on education, so that tells you a little bit about the state of India itself at that time when we started entering this category, where you need to create awareness first about a category before you even talk about solutions. Because most of the time, the awareness, though it has improved a lot in the last 30 years in India, the awareness is still missing in many parts. And even today, simple habits related to water and sanitation are not followed by many people in India. And that's a challenge, and a challenge that we face quite a bit. If a picture can say 1,000 words, I like this picture from The Economist that came in quite some time back. This actually captures how India is developing, in my opinion, fairly accurately. There is a huge, the portion that the politicians like to call as India shining, that's sitting atop of a very skewed and very diverse and very, I would say, infrastructurally challenged base. And this is what the India is that we're dealing with today. And you'll see pockets of excellence with substantial challenges as well, often right next door to each other, and that's unique to India. Some pictures were shared, but I think since we are having this meeting in the city of Mumbai, I thought I should take some pictures from Mumbai. This is what a stark water line, these are some pictures from Mumbai. You'll get a sense of how central water is to the lives of every day. Especially for people who are suffering from not having enough of it or not having enough of it at adequate quality. Many of the cities in India have municipal water treatment. And some of you may be aware of this, that a good number of the cities have infiltration and chlorination. Mumbai, certainly. In fact, Mumbai uses vacuum chlorinators. And usually what happens is they go to the extent of ensuring microbiological purity by having a small amount of residual chlorine in the water that takes care of a number of things. But the problem is we have an aging and tamper-prone distribution infrastructure. And by the time you combine this and you combine it with very poor handling, you generate quite a bit of contamination by the time the water reaches what we call point of use in the industry. There was talk, Stanley mentioned earlier about losses. There is an estimate that Mumbai alone, there is 650 MLD, million liters per day distribution loss. That's an enormous amount of water to be wasted. Chemical contamination, huge problem. Quite a bit of it, and in presence all over India in various levels. Lead, organics, heavy metals. Physical contamination, which is often caused by intermediate storage, handling. There's also issues of groundwater, quite a bit. Microbial contamination, very common. Again, this is coming from handling and storage issues and sometimes sewage recontamination. And we're also increasingly seeing in India this concept of chlorine-resistant cysts, which is also coming quite a bit. So in other words, you can't chlorinate your way to salvation. You can't keep chlorinating everything. And that's a solution that is no longer going to be viable. And this is increasingly recognized, but we're often finding ourselves in a position when we talk to municipalities. I like the chart in Stanley's presentation about how complex it is. We are often invited to participate in government forums, and we are often given the voice from the private sector, so to speak, that we have to sit in these forums. And very often, most municipalities, even to this day, believe that if you have a chlorination system, you're all fine. You don't have to do anything. And that's the definition of what safe water is, still in many, many parts of India. And that, we know it's far from the truth, those of us who work in this field, who work with us in the technology space. But this is a challenge that we deal with every day. And that's about creating awareness, creating the right kind of awareness. And that's a big challenge for us.